Hello, hello, beloveds. I am wishing that I had been able to send something to you more quickly, but the energies have been so incredibly high and bright and big that it's been very hard for me to sit still in even one place. So, I'm just gonna end up not. It's gonna be like Chicken Little, right? The sky is falling, but then the sky is never falling kind of situation where it's just every 5 minutes. Oh, new phase, brand new phase, like every 5 days. I just feel like this is how 2022 is gonna be. So hopefully you'll just roll with it and roll with me on it. But I really felt very strongly a couple of days ago when I first posted on my personal Facebook account that a new phase had begun. Another new phase had begun. And since that time, the energies have been very high and bright and light. I want to describe it a bit to you because not everyone is yet feeling it. You may have kind of a sense of it, and as I describe what's going on, you may be able to connect more into it and be able to bring that energetic experience into your visceral embodied experience, which is what I really want for you, to be able to have that. So first, I think it's important to kind of look back for a moment at things that we have been talking about for some time. So we work with the mental model of Earth as having over many, many millennia gone through a process of increasing density. And then in very recent times, we had the experience of we got to sort of the maximum density, she got to the maximum density, and started to turn the corner. And there was this was driven by, supported by massive influxes of cosmic light, cosmic energies into the planet, which had the byproduct of really affecting all the beings on the planet and affecting the humans. And so many of you have been kind of caught up in that gorgeous wave of those cosmic lights and cosmic energies coming into the planet to support her evolutionary journey. And along the way, this then created the opening for a timeline for humanity to have an evolutionary path into a new species called Homo lumens. Now, this timeline for humanity was not always assured as Earth was moving into increasing density. And as I've shared before, that timeline is now assured. Where we're focusing right now is on Earth. So Earth then kind of turned that corner and began shedding density and the ratio, if you will, of energy to matter sort of shifting, increasing lightness occurring, and continued influx of cosmic energy. And remembering that there is a two-way relational connectedness where earth and energy is then coming, kind of taking in and processing and making it uniquely earth, and then sending it back up and out into the cosmos to support the many out in the cosmos, desiring of connecting to this brand new energy from earth. And it is supporting the up-leveling of many other beings and worlds as well. So, and that energy movement is happening up through you as well. And so when we ground in and connect into earth, we on a kind of very fundamental 101 level, we're doing that in order to support ourselves to kind of get connected and rooted. But as we expand our esoteric capacities, what we're also doing is we're doing it so that we can get that experience of bringing that kind of new earth and energy up into ourselves, and then ourselves as a conduit for one of the mechanisms, one of the kind of transmitters of that energetics up out into the cosmos. And so you are both increasing your capacity to receive and experience and integrate cosmic energies coming into the earth and bringing those back down into the earth. So you are a conduit for that both ways, and you're also receiving both ways. And in your experience of that, think of, if you're looking for visuals for yourself, about yourself, remember that you are essentially in the middle of, like, your body, or your sense of yourself, which is fairly embodied, is essentially in the middle of a giant toroidal field, torus field, which is like a big kind of 3D donut hole shaped item, and it has a kind of hole through the center, not really a hole, but like we'll just call it that for the sake of that purpose, like a kind of a central channel that runs up and down in alignment with the central energetic channel, is in many ways the central energetic channel within your body. And so it energy flows in from one direction, so say in from the top into that central channel in the middle of that toroidal field, that donut hole shape, goes all the way down, and then kind of curves back up around the torus shape and kind of does this cycling where it's just sort of flowing in that direction. The same thing is happening from the bottom, so it's flowing in the other direction. So you have a double toroidal field. Everyone has this. This is, and everything has this. Sometimes in many teachings they'll only teach one direction, and that's just an incomplete teaching. So so this is what's kind of been going on, been very fun. So what this new phase that just started a couple of days ago as I record this, I'm recording this on the morning of Sunday, January 23rd in 2022 Pacific time. And if memory serves me correctly, it was on the 20th or the 21st that I posted about the new phase opening. And since then, it's just been amazing. And so the hallmark to me in my received information of this new phase is that all of the lower timelines around Earth's kind of trajectory, if you will, have been closed. They have been removed. So we've been individually in our own interplay with our timelines and in our work for and with Earth, we've been dropping density, shedding skin, dropping trauma, dropping whatever language you want to use for it, doesn't matter. And that process has been closing and shutting down and dropping and ending lower timelines, both in your individual experience and in a collective the humanity experience, and then also on the earthen plane. But what has happened here is that for Earth, all of the lower timelines are now gone. And so the experience has been like suddenly becoming aware through contrast, because of the experience of feeling so much lighter. Oh, I didn't realize that I was basically kind of walking around with these giant weights tied to my ankles. I didn't even know they were there because they've always been there. And now they're gone, and I'm practically floating because I can just, I can like run. Like if I'm having this memory of like, remember when you were a little kid and you got your first really great pair of sneakers that were like really like foamy and thick and good for sports or whatever, and you felt like you could just run around the earth like nothing, just like crazy. Like you could, jump like Wilt Chamberlain and dunk, any basketball, anywhere, anytime. Like that kind of a feeling. And so it's as if we were previously trying to run a marathon while wearing ski boots. Those like alpine downhill skiing ski boots that are like really clunky and heavy and plastic, and they like you can't bend your ankle or anything, which is supportive during skiing, right? So imagine trying to run a marathon in ski boots. That's what we've been doing, and the ski boots are off. What? Oh my God, that's totally crazy. So much fun. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone has perfect clarity, or that everyone's completely finished with their own shedding of kind of old skin or old density on an individual level. And it doesn't mean that humanity's done yet either. This is for Earth, okay? And so the ripple effects are going to be coming. Now, you may be in a kind of in-between place where you're not quite feeling this level of like, blah, that I'm feeling and that I'm describing. And if you are, let me first start there. So if you are feeling that just incredible, like bubbling, effervescent, just super light, super, just like everything feels very new and very fresh. And I would say like very fun and all sorts of like kind of clarity of creational pieces coming through. What is a little challenging is sort of corralling that. It's that kind of like, all right, we use the fire hose metaphor a lot. That kind of like, okay, now I am suddenly 20 times bigger and stronger. So let me like hold this fire hose now and direct it in terms of my action, so that my aligned actions occur here in the physical, in the embodied level of things, in a way that helps me get stuff out where I want it to go. So it hasn't been totally crazy and like, squirrel, like blah blah blah, squirrel. But it's been a little bit of that. So you may be having a lot of that, and I just want to kind of give you some context for that. Now, if you're not quite in this level, what might be going on is you might be kind of flickering in and out, kind of next level, if you will, sort of down in desirability of experience. You might be kind of flickering out in like little brief pulses or waves of anxiety, free-floating anxiousness. This is just about the high energies just pinging your nervous system, and you're not quite at the place of full awareness, awake awareness of what they are. So the next time if you have that again, that little like whoop of anxiety come in where you're like, try just going, oh, this is just my nervous system not being sure, not being clear about what the what these energies are, right? And use this mental model that I'm sharing, if it's aligning for you and resonating for you and feels useful for you, to try to have a story that your body can orient around, and see how that goes for you, and see if that doesn't just kind of help you zoop up a little bit. Now, some of us also may still be kind of dealing with, we're not out of the phase for the humanities side of things, the collective side of things that I said would run through January into February, where, we're kind of like in the sort of opportunity to kind of review or reflect or just allow a new revision or renewal of plans and understandings of next phase in your own human life. And so there may be a feeling of like, okay, things do feel lighter, but I can't quite see yet, as if I'm moving through like the room. That I keep getting this image of like being in a really big, large, airy room, but there's a bunch of kind of gauzy curtains or gauzy cloth hanging down. And so I'm trying to move from one side of the room to the other where the view is, but I keep getting kind of like, oh, I'm bumping into another one of these cloths. And maybe as I'm trying to move and weave through them, they're not parting super easily, and I'm getting tangled up in them a little bit. Like kind of like I'm getting like a kelp kind of vibe a little bit as well with that. But it feels very airy and very light, like a very thin, gauzy, like you can kind of see through it almost, but not quite. Like you can tell you're going in the right direction. I'm going across, I'm going across the room. I'm getting closer and closer to the big, beautiful bay of windows over which I will be able to sort of see everything. So just keep trusting that. Just keep going, keep moving. In alignment, or resting, right? Being still. Sometimes when you're trying to move forward through those gauzy curtains, you might be creating more tangle, right? Like I don't know what this is called, but there's that way in which certain knots can get tied so that when there's stress on them, it makes them tighter, right? Like that kind of a thing. You don't want to do that to yourself. If you have a sense of that occurring, then you want to kind of just move into more of a stillness. Right? And that may be literally a physical stillness of, I'm going to stop actions right now. I'm going to step away from whatever context I was trying to do action. And I'm just going to attend to some inner stillness. And I'm just going to create that inner stillness and come into it and settle and remember. Just be, right? So I think that's really where things are at this stage, and just, keep on going, keep on loving it, keep on enjoying it, and really, really, as much as you can, put yourself at the center of your life, put yourself at the center of your life design, and put what delights you at the center of you. So there's a kind of like a bullseye visual happening there, where there's kind of like your life, and then at the center of that is you, and then at the center of the inner circle of you is what delights you. And if you don't know what delights you, then guess what? This is the perfect energy to rediscover that, renew the wells of that. All right, beautifuls, beautiful beings, beloveds, wonderful ones. I love you so much. I thank you for your light in the world. The journey continues. As always, take what's useful and leave the rest without judgment. And more in-depth sharings available inside the Luminosity Playground, which is a private portal for members only, where I share additional follow-up esoterics sometimes to these transmissions. I also share stories and other fun adventure playground kinds of things, especially here for 2022, which is our Choose Your Own Adventure year. And if you haven't listened to the 2022 planetary themes episode, please do catch that transmission. Very fun, very useful information. All right, darlings, I will talk to you soon.